Good morning, my dear students. In this session, we are going to discuss about bee dances. Before going into the discussion, let's see what you mean by bee flora or bee pasturage or bee forage. See here number of plant species which are providing pollen, propolis and nectar to the bees. These all are commonly known as bee flora or bee pasturage or bee forage. Then what do you mean by bee foraging? The act of searching food by the honeybees is known as bee foraging. See here, this is the artificial honey hive. This honey hive accommodate around 8 to 10 frames, and honeybee colony will stay in this honey hive. Honeybee colony consisting of a single queen, hundreds of drones and thousands of workers. Then what is the role of queen bees in the colony? See, this is the queen bee. This is the only fertile female in the colony which is responsible for laying eggs and ensure the colony's survival and growth. These are the drone bees and these are the male bees whose sole purpose is to mate with the queen bees and making them fertilize. In the honeybee colony, thousands of workers also there. These are the sterile female. They perform various indoor and outdoor duties like cleaning up the hive, nursing the larvae and queen, guarding the hive, collection and storage of the food, maintaining the temperature of the colony for community survival. For all these things, effective communication among the bees is essential. Therefore, honeybees communicate with each other by means of two ways. That is, one, the physical communication by means of doing dances, chemical communication by means of producing pheromones or chemicals. In this session, we are discussing about physical communication by means of bee dances. Bee perform two types of dances, that is one round dance and second one is wagtail dance. See here, this is the honey hive and this is the bee forage. And the distance between the honey hive and bee forage is less than 50 meter. In this case, when a food source is located very close to the hive, when a food source is located very close to the beehive, that is less than 50 meter away, the forager bee perform a round dance. And this round dance indicates only the distance of the food, but it do not indicate direction of the food. The forager bee perform a round dance by running around in a narrow circle and suddenly reversing its direction to its original position. And she may repeat the dance several times at the same location or move to the another location to perform the same dance. After the completion of the dance, she often distribute the food to the follower bees so that the follower bees visit the same food source, they collect the food and return back to the hive and there they store their food. See here, in case of round dance, the forager bee is going for foraging. After finding the bee forage, it collects pollen, propolis, and nectar and return to the hive. And on the surface of the frame, it performs a round dance. After completion of the round dance, upon receiving information, the follower bees moves out of the hive and goes to the same forage. They collect the pollen, propolis, and nectar and return back to the hive, and there they store their food, that is collected food. Like that, the round hands indicate only the distance of the food. Now you see here waggle dance. See, this is the honey hive and this is the bee forage. When bee forage, see here the distance between the honey hive and bee forage is greater than 50 meter. When a food source is distantly located to the beehive, that is more than 50 meter away, a forager perform wagtail dance. In wagtail dance, the bees or the forager bees run straight ahead for shorter distance by making waggle and return to its original position by making a semicircle. Again, the bee moves in straight line for shorter distance by making waggles and run or make another semicircle in opposite direction. Like that, the forager bee will complete a full figure of 8 circuit. While running in the straight line, the vibration in the abdomen gives the tail waggling motion, and this wagtail dance communicate both distance and direction to the follower bees. See here, in case of waggle dance, the forager bee is going for foraging. Once it finds bee forage, it collects it and return back to the hive, and on the surface of the hive it performs a wagtail dance. Upon receiving information, the follower bees move to the same forage. They also collect the forage and return back to the hive where they store their food. I told you that a wagtail dance indicates both distance and direction. See here how this dance will indicate distance. In the straight line, when the bee makes less number of waggle, means it indicates the food source is nearer. In the straight run, when bees making several number of waggle, mean it indicate the food is somewhat far. Another indication is when bees are making small and several number of circuits, then it indicates the food is somewhat nearer. When the bees are making very few number of circuits and large circuit, very few number of circuits, and their size is large, it indicates the food is somewhat far. I also told you that this wagtail dance also indicate direction. Yes, this dance indicate direction. See here, this is the honey hive, this is the food source, and this is the sun. When the food is in the direction of the sun, the bee sits at the bottom of the frame and moves vertically upward. Moves vertically upward. See here, this is the honey hive and this is the food and this is the sun. Here the food is in the opposite direction to the sun. Therefore, in this case, the bee sits at the top of the hive and moves vertically downward. It indicates the other follower bees the food source is away from the sun, so that they move in the opposite direction to the sun and they find their food. When the food is in the 60 degrees angle to the sun, the bee performs waggle run 60 degrees angle to the straight line. Like that, the direction of the food is indicated in the waggle run. For the interpretation of the meaning of this dance, Karl von Frisch awarded with the Nobel Prize. Thank you.
Good morning, my dear students. In this lecture, we are going to discuss regarding study of different species of mulberry and non-mulberry silkworms. There are two types of silkworms. That is one, mulberry leaf-eating worms are known as mulberry silkworm. Non-mulberry leaf-eating worms are known as non-mulberry silkworm. They are Tazark silkworm, Muga silkworm, and Eri silkworm. First, we are going to discuss about mulberry silkworm. Mulberry silkworm scientific name is Bombyx mori, and it's belong to the family Bombycidae. Mulberry silkworm is domesticated for more than 4,000 years. It is being cultivated on mulberry leaves. The moths are milky white in color, medium sized, with smoky wavy line on white colored fore and hind wings. That is, smoky wavy lines on white colored fore and hind wings. The apex of the forewing is slightly elongated and curved. Frenulum, that is the wing coupling apparatus, is almost atrophied or absent. Maxillary palpi and tymphanal organs are absent, but bipectinate antennae are present. These are the mulberry leaves. This is the mulberry silkworm larvae, and this is the adult. See the wavy lines on fore and hind white wings of silkworm moth, and it possesses bipectinate antennae. Larva in mulberry silkworm is glabrous, that is without hair, and elongate with a mid-dorsal caudal horn and eighth abdominal segment. Cocoons vary in shape and color according to the races. The cocoon composes of a single continuous reliable thread, which is ranging from 500 to 1500 meter in length, and the pupa is octave type. The mulberry silkworm larva is monophagous and feeds on mulberry, that is Morus indica, Morus alba, Morus rubra, Morus nigra, etc. Now we are going to see about non-mulberry silkworm. First one is Eri silkworm. Eri silkworm scientific name is Samia cynthia resini, or synonym is Phyllosamia resini. It is belong to the family Saturnidae. See here, moth are brownish block in color, large sized with about 8 to 10 centimeter wing expansion. Wings are speckled with triangular eye spot almost near its center with characteristic brown lines. This moth also possesses bipectinate antennae. Larvae are domesticated, polymorphic, robust, and possess coli. See here, spine-like structure are known as coli. Larval period is 25 to 20 to 25 days. It forms creamy white or dark brown, elongated and soft cocoon with an opening at one end. See the opening here, hence called open end cocoon. The silk is non-reliable since it is not in a one single strand, that is not continuous. Pupa is uptake type. It can pupate anywhere, so Chandrika is not required for this silkworm moth. See, this is the Aries silkworm moth adult, Aries silkworm moth larvae. Aries silkworm is polyphagous and feed on castor, tapioca, champa, kesseru, bar kesseru. Next non-mulberry silkworm is Tazar silkworm. Its scientific name is Anderia mylitta. Moths are large in size with 20 centimeter wing expansion and polymorphic, comes in different colors. The wings of male vary from brown to dark gray in color, while in female the wings vary from yellowish gray to brownish shades. Wings are speckled with transparent circular eye spot near the center. They also possess bipectinate antennae. The larva is green, robust, possesses coli, and is semi-domesticated. The larval period is 30 to 40 days. It forms dense, firm cocoons. The cocoon color varies from grayish to yellowish shades. The filament is reliable and measure around 500 to 1300 meter. Pupa is uptake type. This is the Tazar silkworm moth adult, larvae, life cycle, and the Tazar silkworms are polyphagous and mainly feed on Terminalia tomentosa, Terminalia arjuna, Syzygium cumini, Soria robusta, Gigipus jujuba, Lagestomia parviflora, Tectoma grandis, and Acacia auriculiformis. Another non-mulberry silkworm is Muga silkworm. Its scientific name is Anderia azamensis. Moths are large with 25 centimeter wing expansion. The wings are brown with a transparent eye spot in the center. They also possess bipectinate antennae. Larvae are green in color and semi-domesticated and breed mostly in Assam. Cocoon color varies from golden to glossy white with rudimentary peduncle, hence called golden cocoon. The filament is reliable. Pupa is object type. The larva is polyphagous and feed on some and solo plants. See, this is the Muga silkworm adult. Life cycle of Muga silkworm, Som host plant and solo host plant. Thank you.
Good morning, my dear students. In this lecture, we are going to discuss regarding grainage, chalky rearing, and late age rearing of silkworm. Quality seed is the backbone of sericulture industry. Such quality seeds are produced at breeding centers, grainages, and distributed to the farmers or the rearers. In India, usually three-tier system of seed production is adopted, that is at P3 center, P2 center, and P1 center. At P3 centers, basic or nucleus seeds are produced. At P2 centers, foundation stock seeds are produced. P2 center also serve as germplasm bank. P1 centers receives the cocoon from the P2 centers, and the parents of commercial layings are mass multiplied here and distributed to the rearers or the farmers. Silkworm eggs are known as silk seeds. These are of two types, that is one reproductive seed and another one is the industrial or commercial seeds. The reproductive seeds are produced in very limited quantity in special breeding centers by technically qualified persons. The purpose of the production of the reproductive seed is for maintaining the racial purity and to produce parents for the commercial seeds. The commercial seeds, on other hand, produced in large quantity in special organization called grainages. The purpose of production of commercial seed is to supply to the rearers or the farmers. Grainage. See, this is the grainage. Grainage is a center where the disease-free silkworm seeds are produced in large quantity under scientific line. These centers purchase cocoon from the certified seed cocoon producers, allow this cocoon for moth emergence, make moth sexing and obtain large quantity of the seeds. And these seeds are mass multiplied and distributed to the rearers or the farmers. The grainages are mostly owned by the government and may also be owned by licensed private owners. See here, silkworm cocoon. Grainages collect large quantity of silkworm cocoon, allows for moth emergence and make mating of the moth and allow the moth for laying large quantity of the eggs, and these eggs are mass multiplied and distributed to the farmers. See, this is the plan of grainage building. A grainage building must and should contain following facilities such as a room for accommodating cocoons or pupa of different strains, a room for coupling and oviposition of the moth, incubation room laboratory, egg processing room, cold storage room, dormitory, and office room. The location of the drainage must be in cooler areas of the locality. The drainage must be situated in the center of this sericulturally active area so that most of the people approaches this drainage and take the egg for sericulture activities taking place at drainage. The drainage center purchase cocoon from the certified seed cocoon producers. These cocoons are placed in well ventilated rooms which are provided with optimum temperature of 23 to 25 degrees Celsius and humidity of 70 to 80%. And here moth emergencies allowed. These drainage rooms are may be kept at dark and light may be supplied suddenly on the expected day of emergence to bring uniform emergence of the silkworm moth. Emerging moths are sexed and used for breeding purpose to produce seed eggs. 3 hours of mating secures maximum fertilized eggs. The sexed females are then made to lay egg on paper sheets or cardboards which are coated with a gummy substance. These egg sheets are disinfected with 2% formalin and then washed with the water to remove the traces of formalin and then dried off in the shades. The dried eggs weighed to the required standard and packed in small flat boxes with muslin cover and dispatched to the buyers. Now the silk seeds are in the hands of farmers or the rearers. Farmers incubate them and obtain silkworm larvae. These larvae are provided with good quality food and grown up larvae are mounted on the mountages. On the mountages, these larvae form cocoons. Cocoons are harvested and marketed. These marketed cocoons are processed and silk is extracted. See all this procedure are processed in detail. Egg incubation and hatching. Silkworm rearing starts with silkworm egg incubation. Eggs are incubated under optimum temperature of 25 degrees Celsius and at humidity of 80 to 85%. Under these conditions, eggs are expected to hatch within 10 to 12 days. See here, eggs are taken into the hatching tray for incubation purpose. A hatching tray accommodates around 30,000 eggs. Here, hatching tray covered with tissue paper. Over it, another plate is placed for proper coverage and incubation. See here several hatching trays kept for incubation in a single large tray. Here block boxing process is going on to ensure uniform egg hatching in silkworm. The eggs at pinhead stage are kept under total darkness either by wrapping them in the block paper or keeping them in a block box, or keeping them in a block room for 2 days before hatching. This process is called block boxing. The next day they are exposed to the diffused light so that the larvae hatch uniformly in response to the photoic stimuli. In silkworm, eggs generally hatch in 10 days, so block boxing is done on 8th day or 2 days prior to the egg hatch, result in 90% hatching can be obtained. See here, after block boxing, around 90% hatch larvae on the sheet tissue or on the tissue paper. After larval hatching, they must be transferred to the new tray or rearing beds. There is two acceptable method for larval transfer to the new trays or rearing bed. See first method, this is the first method and this is the second method. In first method, the hatching trays are covered with porous nylon net. Over this net, chopped leaves provided as the feed. To this feed, the hatched larvae are attracted and they crawl over the nylon net. So the larvae along with feed, this net is taken to the new tray like that transferred. See, take out nylon net with crawl larvae and transfer to the new tray and give first feed to them. In second method, brushing is done. The process of transferring the silkworm to rearing tray is known as brushing. The hatched worms are brushed with a feeder from the egg card directly onto the rearing bed. Here, care must be taken not to injure the worms and give first feed. See here, first feed is given. Silkworm undergoes 4 molting and gives 5 instars. Molting or ecdysis is nothing but periodical process of shedding the old cuticle accompanied by the formation of the new cuticle is known as molting or ecdysis. The time interval between the two subsequent molting is known as stadium, and the form assumed by the insect in any stadium is known as instar. Now we are going to discuss what is chalky rearing and what is late age rearing. Rearing of first and second instar larvae is known as chalky rearing. Rearing of third, fourth and fifth instar larvae is known as late age rearing. During rearing, temperature and humidity play most important role. Silkworms do well in the temperature range of 23 to 28 degrees Celsius, with higher temperature for the younger worms and lower temperature for the older worms. During rearing, we have to provide around 70 to 85% relative humidity, higher for the younger worms and lower for the older worms. Temperature and humidity can be moderated by use of wet gunny bag or wet newspaper or pouring the water on cemented floors. See in this table optimum temperature and humidity for rearing of different instar of silkworm are given below. For first instar, we have to provide 26 to 28 degrees Celsius temperature. For second instar, same, that is 26 to 28 degrees Celsius. For third instar, 25 to 26 degrees Celsius. For fourth instar, 24 to 25 degrees Celsius. For fifth instar, 23 to 24 degrees Celsius. See here, we are providing somewhat higher temperature to the first instar and somewhat lower temperature to the fifth instar. Similarly, we are providing somewhat higher humidity, that is 85 to 90% to the first instar and lower humidity to the fifth instar, that is 70%. Silkworm density or spacing of silkworms. Different instars of silkworms require different bed space. So, spreads the worm evenly and ensure that they do not overlap each other. Overlapping or overcrowding leads to underfeeding, creation of microclimate for disease spread, and could also lead to the suffocation. See here, rearing density for one case of silkworm given here. For first instar, provide 1 meter square area. For second instar, provide 2 meter square area. For third instar, provide 4 meter square area. For fourth instar, provide 8 meter square area. For fifth instar, provide 17 meter square area. Now we are going to discuss stages of growth and feeding method. In first stage or in first instar, we have to feed the worm with young tender leaves, that is second and third leaves which are collected from tip of the shoot, and like this we have to feed for the worm for 4 days. After this period, the worm go into the molt. What are the signs that silkworm exhibit during molting? The molting signs are swollen heads, raised head, worms are immobile. During molting, the bed should be kept dry and uncovered. Signs of getting out of molt. The worms are active and move around. The mouth part is broader. The body is dull with loose skin. Stud of skin are easily seen on the bed. Once the worm come out of the molt, spread them out evenly on the bed and provide optimum space to match with their increasing body size. In second instar, feed the worm with third and fourth young glossy leaves and feeding continue for 4 days. After this period, the worm go into the molt again. In third instar, the larvae feed with good leaves harvested from the green part of the plant and continue feeding for 3 days. After this period, the worm go into the molt again to the fourth instar. In the fourth instar, feed the worm with whole shoot and continue feeding for the 6 days. After this period, the worm go into the molt again. In fifth instar, feed the worms with whole shoot and feeding continued for 7 to 8 days. After this fifth instar, the larvae are ready for spinning and they are transferred to the mountages for spinning up the cocoons. During feeding, always maintain a single layer of the shoot. Avoid overmature, yellow and diseased leaves. There are three methods for rearing of late-age silkworms. They are self-rearing, floor rearing, and shoot rearing. Now we are going to discuss all this method one by one. See, this is the self-rearing. These are the selves. Over these selves, bamboo trays are kept. Bamboo trays are more common in Karnataka and West Bengal, of diameter 1.2 to 1.4 meters. See self-rearing by using bamboo and wooden trays. In self-rearing, silkworms are reared in bamboo trays. See here bamboo trays, which are arranged one over the other in trays on a rearing stand. This is the rearing stand. Each rearing stand can accommodate 10 rearing trays. In this system, leaves are picked individually from the plant, or branches of mulberry cut into the convenient size and are fed to the silkworms. Usually 4 to 5 feedings are given in a day, and nets are used for cleaning the beds. This is the disadvantage and this is the advantage of self-rearing. Since cleaning is practiced more frequently in self-rearing, and also tray removed from the stand for every feeding required more number of labors, so it is somewhat costly. However, this method has the advantage of accommodating more silkworm in limited space than the other two methods, and this method is preferred by the Indian farmers who are invariably confronted with the problem of rearing space. Next, we are going to discuss regarding floor rearing. These are the fixed rearing seats of width is 1 to 1.5 meter, and the space between two rearing seats is zero point 0.6 to 0.8 meter, and the length of the seats is 5 to 7 meter, or it is depend on the size of rearing room. In floor rearing method, the worms are reared on fixed rearing seats. The rearing seats are arranged in 2 or 3 trays for accommodating large number of silkworm as it's possible. The rearing seats may measure 1 to 1.5 meter wide, 5 to 7 meter long according to the size of the rearing room. The space between the two tiers is zero point 0.6 to 0.8 meter, and sufficient space is left all around the rearing seat for attending to feeding and to carry out other rearing operations. As in the self-rearing, the silkworms are fed with the leaves or branches cut into the small size. The number of feeding given in this method is 3 to 4 in a day. Bed cleaning is also followed in the same way as for the self-rearing by using nets, but it is done less frequently, twice during the fourth instar and thrice during the fifth instar. The main advantage in this system as compared to the self-rearing is that feeding and cleaning processes do not involve the handling of innumerable trays. As such, there is considerable saving on labors. This is the last method of rearing late-age silkworm, that is shoot rearing. This method is similar to that of floor rearing. Here also silkworm larvae reared on fixed rearing seats, but which are provided with whole shoot. See here, we are giving whole shoot as the feed to the silkworm larvae. Since the leaf supply due to the shoot feeding is distributed in 3 dimensions, there is better aeration of the rearing beds, and therefore it is possible to have 50% more warmth per unit area of rearing seat as compared to the self or floor rearing. Cleaning in this method is also reduced to the minimum, which is normally carried out once each in the 4th and 5th instars. See the process for bed cleaning in shoot rearing method. Ropes of convenient length are spread parallel to each other along the length of the rearing bed. Over these ropes, fresh branches of mulberry are supplied for feeding. After 2 or 3 feeds, when all the worms have crawled onto the new branches, the bed held by the rope is rolled into the loose bundle. The old branches and dirt is removed. This is the most economical method of rearing, as labor requirement for the process of feeding and bed cleaning are kept at minimal level. This table showing leaf requirement for rearing of 1 kg silkworm. To the first instar larva, we have to provide second and third young leaves which are collected from the tip of the plant. In first instar, on first day we have to provide 150 gram leaf, on second day 200 gram leaf, on third day 200 gram leaf, on fourth day 150 gram leaves, and on fifth day the worms go into the sleep or mount. Like that, in second instar we have to provide this much quantity of leaf. In third instar we have to provide this much quantity of the leaves. In fourth instar we have to provide this much quantity of the leaves, and in fifth instar also we have to provide this much quantity of the leaves. The most important step in silkworm rearing is the bed cleaning. Bed cleaning is done to remove fecal matter, dead worms, and leaf remnants, which would promote fungal growth. It is done after every molt for the young silkworm, but every other day for the mature worms. Bed cleaning is best done before feeding the worms. See here the procedure given for bed cleaning. To clean the bed, spread a net over the worm and spread fresh leaves on the top of the net. Worms will crawl off to feed on the fresh leaves which are present on the surface of the net. Then transfer the worm using the net to another clean bed or the tray. Remove any remaining worms and then discard the waste into a compost pile. Thank you.
Good morning, my dear students. In this lecture, we are going to discuss regarding mounting and harvesting of cocoons. Mounting. For cocoon spinning, transferring of mature fifth instar silkworm larvae from rearing beds to the montages is known as mounting. For cocoon spinning, transferring of mature 15-star silkworm larvae from rearing beds to the montages is known as mounting. In silkworm larvae, spinning starts 8 days after worms get into the 5th instar stage. When the silkworm larvae exhibits following signs of maturity, then they are ready for mounting. Let's see the signs of maturity in silkworm larvae. Larvae cease to feed and crawl restlessly in search of corner to attach themselves for spinning. They move to the corner of the rearing beds for spinning. If picking up mature silkworm is delayed, then the worm spins on the bed and silk fiber is found on the bed. The silkworm appear creamy white as they are full of silk. The worms shrunk in their length. If all these maturity signs are exhibited by a silkworms, then we have to transfer them from rearing bed to the montages. Process of mounting. The mature silkworms are picked from the rearing bed and transferred to the montages. During mounting, care should be taken to put the right number of worms on the montages to avoid overcrowding and formation of the double cocoons. Diseased worms of rearing beds should be picked separately and discarded either by burning or burying. Mounting density. 90 to 100 larvae should be mounted per square foot. Papers should be spread on the floor below the montages to observe urine from the worm and change this paper when they become damp. Environmental condition during mounting. Temperature and humidity, these two factors affect the quality of the cocoons. Therefore, during mounting, temperature should not exceed 26 degrees Celsius and humidity should be in between 60 to 70%. While spinning, there should be minimal disturbance to the silkworm larvae. Now we are going to discuss regarding types of cocoonages or montages. The most important device that supports the silkworm larvae for comfortable spinning of their cocoon is known as cocoonage or montage. Cocoonage or montages support the silkworm larvae for comfortable spinning of their cocoon. Montage determines both quality and quantity of the cocoons. Different types of montages are used in different parts of the India. In general, montages are made up of wood, bamboo, cardboard, plastic, dry leaves, etc. However, an ideal montage should fulfill the following requirements. A montage must be have convenient space with suitable dimension for spinning a proper size cocoon. A montage should not allow formation of double or malformed cocoons. A montage should have provision for cleaning the excreta of the spinning larvae. A montage should be suitable for easy harvesting of the cocoon. A montage should be cheap, durable, and easy to handle. In India, following types of montages are generally used. That is 1. Chandrika, screen type montage, plastic montage, Japanese low cost rotary montage, bamboo strip montage, bottle brush montage, plastic bottle brush montage. Now we are going to discuss about Chandrika. See, these are the Chandrikas. Chandrika, it is round or rectangular in shape. Chandrika is made up of bamboo mat. See, this is the bamboo mat. On this bamboo mat, a bamboo tape of 4 to 5 centimeter wide is on this bamboo mat. A bamboo tape of 4 to 5 centimeter wide is wound in a spiral manner. See, like this. About 1000 worms can be mounted on this type of montages. Chandrika is popular in South India and West Bengal. Cocoons pinned on Chandrika are of good quality. Next, we are going to discuss regarding screen type of montages. Screen type of montages are made up of bamboo or wood. In this type of montages, longitudinal strips are used instead of spiral tape as in case of Chandrika. This montages screen can be folded and stored. This type of montages can be kept clean and more ventilated so good quality cocoon can be obtained. Screen type of montages are more durable than the Chandrika. Plastic montage. It is made up of plastic instead of bamboo. It is more durable and easy to clean. They are more costly than the Chandrika, but here cocoon produced in these montages are not equal in size. Japanese low cost rotary montage. In this montage, a wooden frame of 4 longitudinal rods, 1, 2, 3, 4. In this montage, a wooden frame of 4 longitudinal rods is attached by means of cross spokes at two ends to a central axis. Each rod has number of pegs placed at equal distance. See the pegs. These pegs are connected by long threads of twisted rice straw in a rectangular pattern like that of charpoy. This montage is cheap, more durable, and make less chances of disease spread. Wattle brush montage. It consists of a thick coconut or jute fiber. The worm spin their cocoons in the space present between the leaves or in between the branches. This montages is very cheap and can be made easily as compared to the Chandriki. Plastic Bottle brush mountages. It was developed by Central Sericulture Research and Training Institute, Mysore. It is a plastic rope with branches. Their surface is granulated in order to provide grip to the worms for spinning. These mountages are durable and can be reused after disinfection. Paddy straw mountage. It is a heap of paddy straw. Paddy straw mountage is traditional one. It is very cheap, effective, and gives good yields. These are the disadvantages associated with the paddy straw mountages. Here, cocoon may be crushed and harvesting is a problem. Harvesting of the cocoons. In silkworm, cocoons are harvested manually or mechanically by using harvesters. Cocoons are harvested on the 7th to 8th day from the inception of spinning. By this time, the worm will have completed spinning of cocoon and transferred into pupa. To confirm harvesting, cut 2 or 3 cocoons, check whether pupa are fully formed or not. The optimum time for harvesting is when the pupa turn brown in color and become hard in texture. Precautions during harvesting. Harvesting should be done after pupation is completed. Harvested cocoons should be spread in a single layer and not in heap to avoid heat generation. Early and late harvest of the cocoon should be avoided. Deflossing. After harvesting, all loose fiber on cocoon surface is removed, giving it a clean look and make ready for the market. Failure to deflossing of the cocoon lowers the marketability and price. Thank you.
Good morning, my dear friends. In this session, we are going to discuss about insect pest of mulberry silkworm. The insect pest of mulberry silkworm includes insects. They are parasitoids, predators, mites, Pediculoides ventricoccus, vertebrates, and nematodes. Before going into the discussion about silkworm insect pest, we are here discussing some of the important terminologies. What do you mean by parasite? See here, Varroa mite is attacking honeybee. So, parasite is an organism which lives in or on the host body and obtains the food without killing its host. Then what do you mean by parasitoid? See here, Trichogramma wasp is a parasitoid. Uji fly is a parasitoid. So, parasitoid is a parasitic insect that lives in or on the host body and eventually kills its host. Parasitoids. It is a special kind of parasite in which immature stage is parasitizing and adult stage is free living. See here, this adult Uji fly just lay eggs. The maggots which emerged from the Uji fly's eggs are take care of killing up silkworm larvae. So, immature stage is parasitizing here and adult stage is free living.
What do you mean by endoparasite? Endoparasites are the parasites, they live inside the host organisms. Ectoparasite are the parasites which lives on the surface of the host body. Then what is predator? See here predating mantid. Predator is an animal which feeds upon the other animals which are generally smaller and weaker than them. Now we are going to discuss about the important insect pest of silkworm larvae, that is Uji fly. Uji fly's scientific name is Exorista bombycis. It is belong to the family Tachinidae and order Diptera. See, this is the Uji fly, and here Uji fly infesting silkworm larvae. The Uji fly is a serious endoparasite of silkworm which cause 10 to 15% loss to the silkworm crop to the tune of about rupees 400 crores to the Indian silkworm industry annually. See here life cycle of Uzi fly. It will be completed in 1 month and life cycle of silkworm completed in 2 months. Nature of damage of Uzi fly. Uji fly generally prefers third, fourth and early fifth instar larvae for oviposition or infestation. This Uji fly do not prefer the larvae which are mounted on mountages. Uji flies lays creamy white colored eggs in the intersegmental region of the silkworm larvae. From this egg, maggot will hatch out and this maggot bore into the silkworm body. After boring the silkworm body, this maggot feed on the tissues and internal content of the silkworm larvae. After 5 to 8 days, the mature maggots pierces the integument of the silkworm larvae and fall on the ground for pupation. If after Ujifly's infestation, silkworm larvae spawns the cocoon, in that case, the maggot comes out by piercing through one end of the cocoon and making the cocoon unfit for commercial reeling or for seed purpose. What are the symptoms or signs due to Ujifly infestation or attack? We can see black spot on the surface of the silkworm larvae, creamy white oval shaped egg on the surface of the silkworm body, and perforated cocoons we can see generally. Management of the Uji fly. Uji fly is managed by adapting the IPM practices. They are cultural method, mechanical method, physical method, chemical method, and biological method. Cultural method includes collection and destruction of Uji fly affected silkworm larvae and cocoons. Destruction of Uji fly maggots and pupae. Mechanical method includes covering the individual rearing trays with nylon net, enclosing the entire rearing stand by using the nylon net, fixing the wire mesh to the windows and doors, and providing anti-rooms at the entrance of rearing house can exclude the Uji fly from infestation. Physical method includes keeping the Uji trap solution near the doors and windows, and this Uji trap traps this Uji fly. Chemical method include spraying 2% bleaching powder solution, dusting with levigated china clay and spraying or dusting the ovicides or oogicides, which kills the oogy eggs. Here the table shows age of silkworm larvae and quantity of oogicide to be applied in different instars. Biological control method includes release of pupal parasite, that is Nizolinchus thymus, in the rearing rooms or the place where the mountages are kept. Legislative control includes avoiding transportation of Uji-infested cocoon from infested areas to the new areas. When the above mentioned method uses individually, do not keep the pest incident below the 5%. Hence, integrated pest management package is developed for the suppression of this pest. Now we are going to discuss about second important pest of sericulture or silkworm, dermestid beetle. Its scientific name is Dermestis cadaverinus or Dermestis eater. Adult beetle is black in color, oval in shape. Grubs are also black in color and covered with bristles or hairs. The grub causes more damage than the adult. This pest prevails throughout the year. What are the factors responsible for the pest outbreak? Storage of large quantity of moth-pierced as well as stifled cocoon over a long period of time responsible for the pest outbreak. Symptom of attack of this pest. We can see the presence of multiple irregular holes on the cocoons. This pest not only feed on the leftover or dead matter in the cocoon, they also attack the green cocoon as well as egg-laying moths whenever their population get increased. Dermestis beetle management involves two steps. They are preventive measures and control measures. In preventive measures, avoid storage of rejected cocoons and perished eggs. Keep the cocoon storage room clean. Drainage premises should be kept clean and tidy. Provide wire mesh to the door and windows to avoid free movement of the beetles and grubs. Control measures includes mechanical control, that is collection and destruction of grubs and adults of Dermestis beetle. Physical method: pack beetle infested cocoon in HDPE bags and expose to the sunlight for a period of 6 hours. Chemical method: wooden article of the cocoon storage room and drainage should be dipped in 0.2% malathion solution, then wash in water, sun dry, and then only reuse. Store the pierced cocoon in deltamethrin treated bags. Spray deltamethrin solution on the walls and floors of pierced storage cocoon room. Sprinkle commercial grade bleaching powder in the pierced cocoon storage rooms. Fumigate the dried cocoon storage room with methyl bromide. Can manage this pest. Ants. Ants are the pest which generally attack the silkworm larvae which are present in rearing trays and which kept over the rearing stand. So this pest can be easily managed by keeping the legs of the rearing stands in and wells. Mites. Might see here images for the mites. Its scientific name is Pediculoides ventricoccus. Generally, female attacks silkworm larvae, pupae, and adults. take nutrition from them and gives out a toxic substance which kills the silkworm. The body surface of the silkworm, which is struck with the mite, develop black specks. The infested one lose appetite, become inactive, and have difficulty in excretion. And the excreta is attached to the bead-like to the anus. In case of severe infestation, the worm vomit yellowish green fluid. Control of this mite. Avoid the storage of wheat or rice straws near the rearing houses. Treat the building and touched material with acaricide or fumigate before use. Nematode. See here nematode. Its scientific name is Hexamermis microamphides. Nematode generally attack silkworms which are rearing in late autumn season. The nematode attacks young stage of the larvae and penetrate into their bodies. The head of the affected silkworms become transparent and the body milky white. Thank you.
Good morning, my dear friends. In this session, we are going to discuss about uses of silk and its byproducts. Silk, it is a most important natural fiber and used most commonly in the textiles. Silk, it is very soft, smooth and lustrous. All these qualities make the silk queen of the textile. Because of its very good strength, it is also known as biosteel. Now we are going to see different uses of silk. Silk is sold and exported as raw silk yarn. This is the raw silk yarn. Silk woven into the fabrics and sold directly as fabrics or as ready-made garments. See, these are the ready-made garments which are made from the silk. Articles made from the silk like ties, scarves, soles, shawls, furnishings, carpets, and knitted materials, etc. have high market demand and high market value also. Silk yarn, which is obtained from trimotors, is used as package material in pencil industry and for making talcum powder puffs. These are the talcum powder puffs. Sound-free gaze are preferred by using silk as the raw material, and it is exclusively important in making precision machinery. In France, 22 to 24 denier silk is used in tie manufacture. The ties which are manufactured from this 22 to 24 denier silk has very longer lifespan than the ordinary rubber ties. Parachute is made from 13 to 15 denier silk fiber and it was used during the World War II or Second that helped in the tremendous progress of sericulture throughout the world. Cozy and soft sky jackets, comforters, and sleeping bags are also made from the silks. The silk gut is used in surgery for internal suturing. As it is a protein, it is auto-absorbable and need not to be removed after wound healing. Silk grafts used successfully to replace the cut arteries. Silkworms are extensively used in physiology researches to test different toxicants. Now we are going to discuss byproduct of sericulture. Sericulture involves four different activities. They are moriculture, large-scale egg production, rearing of silkworms, and drilling of cocoons. In each of these activities, a number of byproducts, popularly known as vestes, are generated. All these byproducts can be put to good use. Hence, it is claimed that in sericulture, nothing is a waste. Now we are going to discuss one by one byproducts of moriculture, byproducts of grainage operation, byproducts of silkworm rearing, and byproducts of reeling. First, we are going to discuss about byproducts of moriculture. If for some reason silkworm rearing is not carried out, in that case, mulberry leaves can be harvested, shade dried, and can be used for incorporation into the semi-synthetic artificial diet for the silkworm. Mulberry leaves are medicinally most important one. Excess of harvested leaves can be used as cattle feed, manure, or mulches for the mulberry garden. The rejected plant and its pods are used as the raw material for paper pulp industry, also used in furniture making, and also used as fuel. Now we are going to see byproducts of grainage operation. Piercer cocoons, unused moths, and dead moths are the waste products which are obtained from grainage operations. Perforated cocoons are used to make gaicha and kachia, and also used to produce spun silk in the mills. Unused moths, dead moths, and discarded eggs are dumped into the pit and allowed to form composts. Silk moth are used to brew medicinal wines, and this wine is used to treat impotence, abnormal menstruation, and menopausal symptoms. Byproducts of silkworm breeding: excess of harvested leaves, unfed leaves, and exuviae. All these are byproducts of silkworm rearings. All this waste can be used as compost and added to the soil. Rejected larvae, dead larvae, and cast larval skin can be used as poultry feed. Mature silk glands can be used as a source of guts, which are used for surgical suturing. Silkworm litter can be effectively used as a raw material in the biogas plant along with the cow dung to produce fuel. Pharmaceutical and perfumery compounds are produced from the silkworm litter in China. Medicine developed from the chlorophyll which is extracted from the silkworm excrement or excreta, is used as medicine for hepatitis and leukemia. Byproducts of reeling industry includes defective cocoons, pupal waste, and reeling wastes. Pupal waste can be used as compost. Pupa are used as human food as it is a rich source of protein. Pupa also used as animal feed and cattle feed. Oil is extracted from the pupa and it is used for burning the lamps and for preparing homemade soaps. Thank you.
Good morning, my dear friends. In this session, we are going to discuss about economics of silk production. India is the second largest producer of the silk in the world. First largest producer is the China. Indian sericulture industry providing employment to the 9.76 million people in rural and semi-urban areas. In India, the sericulture activities spread across 52,360 villages. India producing mainly four types of silks. They are Mulberry silk, Eri silk, Tazar silk and Muga silk. Among all this silk, share of Mulberry silk is the highest one, that is 71%. Share of Tazar silk is 8%, share of Eri silk is 21% and Muga silk is just 1%. The total silk production in India during 2021 and 2022 year was 34,903 million ton. It is an increase of 3.4% over the previous year. That is only 33,770 million ton. The major silk producing states in the country are Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Bihar, Gujarat, Jammu and Kashmir, Karnataka, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal. Among all these states, Karnataka is the leading producer with the contribution of 32% of the total silk production. This was followed by Andhra Pradesh with the contribution of 25% of the total silk production. The silk industry is one of the largest foreign exchange earner to the country. During the year 2021 and 2022, India's silk and silk product export valued 248.56 million US dollar. Export destination to the India. India's silk and silk products are highly demanded throughout the world. USA is the topmost importer of Indian silk and silk product. UAE is the second largest importer of Indian silk after the USA, followed by China, UK and Australia are the importer of Indian silks. See here country-wise share of Indian silk exporter given during the year 2020 and 2021. Government initiatives for the development and growth of the silk industry in India. The Government of India has implementing several research and development, trainings, transfer of technologies and IT initiatives. In addition to this, there are various schemes such as sericulture development in northeastern states, tribal subplants, silk samagra and scheduled caste subplans are implementing by the government of the India for the development of the sericulture industry. The Indian Silk Export Promotion Council is an apex body of the exporters, manufacturers, and merchandisers. The main activities of this council are to explore the market, establish contact with potential buyers, organize buyer-seller meets, and organize silk fairs and exhibitions, resolve the trade disputes, promote and develop the Indian silk industry and exports. Thank you.
Good morning, my dear students. In this lecture, we are going to discuss regarding rearing equipment and appliances used in sericulture. They are rearing stand, rearing trays, and wells, chopping board, chopping knife, feathers, chopsticks, leaf preservation chambers, mountages or coconages, paraffin papers, foam rubber strips, leaf basket, and mats, etc. Now we are going to discuss all these equipments and appliances one by one in coming slides. See, these are the rearing stands. Rearing stands are made up of wood or bamboo and which are portable. These are the frames at which or over which rearing trays are kept. A rearing stand should be 2.5 meter in height, 1.5 meter long, and 1 meter wide, and should have 10 shelves. The trays are arranged on the shelves, and each stand can accommodate around 10 rearing trays. These are the rearing trays. See, this is rectangular traditional rearing tray. This is rectangular plastic rearing tray. Rearing trays are used for rearing silkworm and are placed on rearing stands. There are many kinds of trays which are differing from one another in material, shape, and size. Traditionally, rearing trays are made up of bamboo or wood so that they are light in weight and easy to handle. These are either rounded or rectangular in shape. Nowadays, rectangular plastic rearing trays are widely used in rearing of silkworms. Next, ant wells. Ant wells are used to stop ants from crawling onto the trays, as ants are a serious threat to the silkworm. They are made up of concrete or stone. The legs of rearing stands rest on the center of the well and which is filled with the water. These rearing trays prevent the ants and other crawling insects. Next appliances is chopping board. Chopping board, it is made up of soft wood used for cutting the leaves of mulberry for feeding the silkworms. The size of the chopping board is 0.9 meter into 0.9 meter and 8 centimeter thick. Chopping knife. Chopping knife used for cutting the mulberry leaves. It is generally have a blade of length 50 centimeter long and 3.8 centimeter broad, and which is provided with a strong wooden handle. Feathers. Large white bird feathers are important for rearing silkworms. These are used for brushing the newly hatched worm to prevent injuries to them. Feathers also helpful while changing the bed or cleaning the bed. Chopsticks. These are tapering bamboo rods of size 17 to 20 centimeter long, which are thin, tapering to the end. These are used for handling and picking younger stages of the larvae to ensure the hygienic condition and to prevent damage to them. It helps to prevent contamination of disease among silkworms. Leaf preservation chamber. Leaf preservation chamber, these are used for storing the harvested leaves. The side wall and bottom are made up of wooden strips. The leaf chamber should contain a good number of ventilators covered with wet gunny cloths. Leaf chamber help in maintaining the leaf quality. Otherwise, leaves should be scattered on the floor in a single layer so that the water droplet on the surface of the leaf will be evaporated. A leaf should never be preserved in heaps. Mountages or cocoonages are the devices which support the silkworm for comfortable spinning of the silk. Mountages are generally made by using materials such as bamboo, plastic, dry straw, rotary cord, and coconut broomsticks, etc. Traditionally, mountages are made up of using large rectangular bamboo mats. But nowadays, plastic mountages, also known as netrikas, are widely used as they are light in weight and available at low cost. Cocoon from plastic mountages can be easily removed with dedicated cocoon harvester machine in a quick time, so no requirement of extra labors. Paraffin papers. These papers are used to maintain the required humidity in the rearing trays. These papers avoid the evaporation of moisture and keep the rearing trays humid. Foam rubber strips. To maintain the required humidity, thick foam pads soaked in water and are placed all around the beds. Leaf basket. Bamboo baskets are used for keeping and transportation of collected mulberry leaves from field to rearing places. Mats. Clean mats are placed under chopping board before chopping the leaves to collect the freshly collected leaves. Thank you.